God, I think I lost a bunch of brain cells after that Meteor Hammer talk. Pycat, say something smart quickly.
Normally.
Something very smart is Koikva on the Lone Druid. Putting him on that hero, like a recipe for angle. Gonna go for this. I mean, it's pretty much some sort of push on push. Of course, it's just the Chen on the one side, but the other, there's the and the Lishrak. Kind of going back to what I kind of like this liquid draft. I think it has their early mid-game timing is if they don't somehow collapse in the lanes. Expect them to. I have some very, very strong.
Oh, that was quite smart, huh? So let me see if it's calibrate my brain. Mars cast range is the build, and that's why they banned it. They were scared that the future was coming now. No, wait, no, still not right. Give me someone else smart. Let's talk about the Spectre.
Looked intentional.
Spectre is not, intelligence-wise, it's not the brightest of heroes. I mean, it's the hero is. Look at the damage coming out of these heroes. There's a lot of kind of uncontrollable damage. Spectre with perhaps a blade mail or just the damage alone.
The battle begins.
Coupled with the heals from the Chen, it's got tanky Spectre, which is gonna have kind of the Legion. That a little bit, but there's a lot of damage coming out of this hero. I just think that mid-game timing kind of from Liquid looks very frightening. The Leshrac gets to his Yule. Same, I'm assuming.
Normally.
I think this is starting to rejuvenate my brain a bit. So, like Hans said, let's see if I can take it from here. The cost is right. General definitely should build a pipe. And also, Here's the Storm is going to be the biggest competitive game of 2020. No, sorry, my brain's still. Give me another one. I'm almost back.
Oh, another one. Iceberg on the mid lane here. He's already got that. That's actually. This is smart. This is something else, huh? Roger, he's got with the one tango build and the shared bottle. Iceberg here. Just kind of help out in this lane. It's kind of a nice lane for Leshrac. Just you have the stun and the lightning. You're gonna have a lot of harass. So having this extra sustain.
Dire's courier
very smart decision.
Killed.
No, that is pretty big brain. I think I'm back. All right, yeah. So with that sort of advantage, do we think maybe Iceberg will be able to like pull ahead, or is it very hard to punish this Leshrac still in this lane?
I think it's very difficult to actually punish the Lesh as Storm. Would have to overstep and commit to some sort of weird engagement. Maybe pull tower, or if there can. Once the Storm gets 6, obviously there's. But Earth Spirit has a lot of options. He can go bottom, top lane. He can pull some wave. I think once he gets a couple of levels, I try to help out the others.
Yeah, I think it kind of solidified it all when you said, maybe if they rotate the Chen or the Rubicon. I chuckled because those aren't supports that rotate too well, especially against the hero like Leshrac, right? Whereas, as you said, that Earth Spirit, even the Pangolier, like these two are vastly superior in the early game for making those rotations.
Iceberg is kind of making some. Yeah, now Tiger is already quite helpful here.
He done this last time. If he gets the roll in, but it seems like Iceberg, he hasn't got a gap in his memory. He remembers this from the previous game.
Yeah, and he can also just.
Looks like this
Spectre's
time
just
around.
Happy camper.
Yeah, while on the bot lane, like Quake's been pressured. He had to go for the resummon on the bear, so they've at least been kind of beating away at the bear a little bit whenever Insania presumably goes off to maybe think about stacking.
You can already see. I mean, he understands kind of the game just queued up. It's pretty much what you. Blade Mail is going to. I like this. In a moment of courage, he knows. Time.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Even
that's not very efficient, but
hey, you say that he was scouting a potential gank with his courier. I'm sure that's what little Krabby was up to there.
Mess with Krabby, you get the stabby. Not in this case, but...
Jesus. This whole series just starting to look like a bunch of animals. Game 1 was Murder and the Bear. Oh, we got another bear that's going to be murdered in this game. Game 2 was just the zoology. And rolling in the mid lane. Tiger had been lurking here a very long time. Finally, he gets something for it. And the bottle will stop him from dying to the tower as well.
Yeah, it's going to be very... annoying. Oh. And he's also, you can see he's committed. I mean, he's committing to this just max split earth. It's going to be a large... difficult for Storm to... quite a slow hero. In terms of walking, right? He does have quite slow smooth. Storm might suffer a bit.
Yeah, there's always the risk that Tiger just comes back and does this again. Like, yeah, you know, he's sacrificing a bit of XP, but shutting down the Storm Spirit kind of is the key to Navi's draft in a lot of ways. Like, general, he's not having the most dominant lanes either.
Got the region rune cancelled.
Oh.
Fortunate sort of blunder there. Still gonna have the bottle in the...
are scanning.
Did he just walk up to the storm? I don't think there was the chain creep there.
He was a little bit too aggressive. He wanted to get another extra lightning in. You know.
Oh, while that's happening, Rubik in the bot lane goes down. General's being pressured as well. Quick for minimum health. Actually, base General lane, if they get one root, it would be a kill. But luckily for the Void Spirit, RNG is on his side.
Radiant structures.
Insane with the yoink will be a fail. And while that happens, Chen does go down in the top lane as well. So Tiger so far, kind of the one to watch in this game.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could...
General?
Tiger, well, great.
And meanwhile, General, no, you might as well deny yourself now, sir, because Insania is lurking. And if he finds the swashbuckle, this will be eternal sadness. I feel like he could have just denied himself. Like, the amount of time he's just standing here now, doing nothing. Okay. If he gets Insania, it's a different matter, and it seems like Insania has been bailed on. Oh god, he's like, please, just disarm, please. The Remnant's gonna clip though. Dissimulate, and Insania one tap. And he right click General was quicker.
Oh, he just got the boots.
Nope, yeah, it doesn't matter. That's the uncharges General needed as well, so now he can sustain himself. Kind of a gift.
Yeah, at the same time though, even though he gets this, I mean, look at the network. The Lesh Rack. So potentially stacks.
BK wants to score. He released the stun, which means he's in trouble now. They're going to try and bring him down. Iceberg's going to drag him in. Always want to fly. Is low. Nice roll through to interrupt the right click. BK running away. Does get the Rubik's Shield, but lives over his life afterwards. Now swashbuckle from Insania. TP away from B-Team. Boxy has got the duel, but nowhere to use it.
No,
well,
he actually decided not to skill the duel.
Ooh.
Went for the
AFK
0-3-3.
Yeah.
And he's going for the triple bracer. Wants to be a B-boy, but yeah, I mean, unfortunate there. I'm not even sure he would have gotten the kill there. I think there was also quite high in armor.
A little bit too obsessive there as a result. Kind of backfires. Still Iceberg very far behind Mike even after that. They're gonna go again. They're like, if at first you don't succeed, beat the living crap out of him until he dies. I'm pretty sure that's how that goes. Moxie, because he has no duel, is just trying to steal CS, and they'll jump BK instead, press the attack to protect him. Turn around to V2, starts off the stun, just clips onto him. We'll bring him low. Mike can't quite finish the kill though. He pays the price. V2 walks away on a sliver of HP. And that is twice now that Liquid have made the same mistake, with Legion now going down this time as well.
Yeah, and quite the... going in way too far. I mean, the Spectre being very close to picking up. General, despite not having the best lane in the bottom, finding a lot of... I mean, he found this kill on the Pango, which helped him out, getting charges and his level.
And you can say this is space for Quake, but at the same time, that lead you had over Iceberg, you're kind of feeding it back. And it's getting a bit concerned. While you still do have a net worth lead on your Leshrac, this is not really how this, you know, next 2 minutes after the blunders in the lane should have went for Navi. They've recovered the issue.
Yeah, I think the Lesh kind of just going in there twice in a row, dying, gonna cost them quite a bit. Substantial net worth had is, some of it is still there. Really not what you wanted.
And another person dies in the exact same... You know, it's kind of interesting, because in game 2, our criticism was that one member of Liquid was kind of dying in the same place. But now they seem to have expanded upon this philosophy and more or less as a collective team are all dying in the same place.
They all want to be dying in the dire jungle. They had a team talk. They're like, guys, we're dying wrong places, dying.
Dire's top tower is under
Like, look, right now we're flaming one member for feeding, but if we collectively feed, we will not demoralize each other.
Stand united.
You know, whatever you're gonna do, you do it as a team, win or lose. Quick for so far, he's actually as an individual just taking towers. He already dealt with the tier 1 bot, so he's found a new home top. And that will at least, you know, maybe force General away. He's gonna linger around because someone has to shove out these lanes, and I don't think you trust a Rubik to do it without dying.
Without the... got the food. Feds and... well on his way to the...
Dire's top tower is under attack.
It's getting there quick.
Definitely allowing him to scale that net worth chart quickly. Mike is, of course, going towards the Yules, but he stopped off the Arcanes, so it's not necessarily going to be there as quickly as the Storm on his Orchid. I think there'll be like one fight where Iceberg can exploit the fact that there is no Dispel.
And what I really like about kind of what like Purple is on this moment. Gets in this start in the bottom lane, he gives this lane. Gives it back, and you know now he's top taking towers. Zania is getting 6. He's got a lot of gold on it.
Probably allow him to go for his typical greedy build. Actually, no. This game not going for the blink, for the javelin, rather going straight for the blink. Realizing that actually what we need this game is solid initiation, especially if Boxy doesn't ever level his ultimate, which he finally has done at level 7 after the Whoopsie Daisies the last time. But now Whoopsie Daisy on the side. Elspirit's gone. Did get one magnetized out. Roland's Thunder is going to be used by Insania. Not sure where he wants to go with this, though. General's able to juke him out. But chase with the Iceberg. And there is no play here. It feels a little bit wasted. They do at least get Chen. General, he went in. The stun control is good. They're going to be able to find him. And now the Horn is completely wasted by V2. I don't know what the hell that was from NAVI there. Looks like that should have been 1 and out.
Denied.
Yeah, at the same time, they did get the... got Insania. He went in a bit too far. Unfortunately, the Rubik attack, which is quite a useful spell.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
If he'd away the Void Spirit, you know, it might just become another support.
Well, last time they'd done that, didn't go quite so well for NAVI, as that was game 1. Let's hope he's able to keep more relevance than that one.
But this time around, they do have the Spectre, though. Like, kind of the lifestealer can't...
Spectre just spotted out the rotation around. They're going to lose the bear. Quick to disrupt. Press the attack. Won't protect him. Jules going to come out to try and help as well. Stun control. And Mike is looking good. The Melt from Temporal low. It's first up. No hand of God. Always want to fly. Will also die. But some 2-for-2 exchange. That's 2 cores for 2 supports. Make that 3. Team Liquid. Seems like getting a little bit too eager. Time and time again. And NAVI are capitalizing on it. Tiger will have to roll away in a few seconds. So he should be able to get out of it. Insania will hold in his role. Orchid is there. Tiger, enough distance, will also fall. Insania needs to be careful himself now. He'll be forced to swashbuckle away.
Berg is off. After the initial laning stains looked a little bit rough.
8-1-3.
And this game, I really enjoy this fact that he's about to go for it. Most of the damage from Liquid. Magical until the Loner Gate joins.
I think it's more or less the kind of recurring theme is that I feel like you never have found those Bloodstone Rush on a Storm Spirit. It feels like Orchid is too good of an item right now and too easy to build into.
No, of course you go for the Orchids first. It's more of you go Orchids in. Yeah. I really like it when you go really BKB. I think it'll fight earlier. And once you get that Bloodstone, you're already in a good game, so you are able to pick charges. But I think the Bloodstone shouldn't really be centered around the item getting more charges. Item that lets you.
Always want to fly. He felt like he got the dream. He actually managed to steal the bear, but they're not going to let him keep it. He's brought down.
Is under attack.
You can see how happy he was. He's like, yes, best steal in the game. Instantly
Dire's
just
middle
dies for
tower
it.
has fallen.
Can't have too many back.
No,
Doesn't make sense.
this series has been a sequence of animal murder, and we have to like limit it some. Speaking of murdered, Ken's army isn't looking too bulky, so he needs to refill it. Get some stacks up. I don't feel like there's any gotcha type creep in this game. It's probably just going to be eventually like, yeah, the ice armor, get some centaurs, Uber stun lord.
I think the ice, the overfrost, kind of the much more difficult. Bring down these target ice armor on them.
Radiant
They went for the baby
scanning.
potato as well. They want a little bit more magic resistance. Obviously very good against Leshrac. Thank God we're past the days where you could just get 4 of those and have a built-in pipe permanently.
I kind of like this. Not something we see very often these days.
Oh, there's a fight breaking out. They didn't quite get the kill on Earthstra. They're trying to follow up now. Want to move in. We're going to bring down Husseini. Not able to use the ultimate. Both supports from Liquid are dead. Voidfall will scare the rest away, so at least covers their retreat. But the bear might die if it's not careful. They don't have the lockdown, but what they do have is the damage to take this tier 1 tower.
Radiant's middle tower. is
Yeah,
under
and
attack.
saying V2 Radiance here.
Radiant's middle
the
tower
ward.
has fallen. Dire are scanning.
This game, he kind of job is on and jumps into fight.
Stupendous!
And he's gonna be dealing a lot of damage through Version and Blade. And just getting hit this game. Sure, we're gonna get low. It's gonna allow Iceberg. I think this is a.
Do you think it's Roger's Chen that's kind of enabling this as well? It's like, oh, I don't have to worry about being a glass cannon per se because I have got Hand of God. I have got this mech on this Chen.
I definitely think that the Chen helps.
Radiant's bottom tower
Gonna
is
be
under
probably the
attack.
Frost Armor.
Radiant's
But I also do think
structures
that
are
it is his job. The Manta Diffuse doesn't. Lone Druid doesn't really care.
That was close. I mean, Tiger almost got punished for that. There's a smoke from Na'Vi, by the way. They're looking to take the high ground and then wrap around on this bot tier 1 tower. And there's the smoke. They know both going to break, and Saini moves in. Boxy looking for a dual opportunity. Gets stuns up straight away, though. Not able to do so. They're trying to burst through. Will boot down, and Saini before you use the ultimate. Boxy next on the hit list will also pull Mike. Now trying to dish out the chaos. Can stun up an iceberg. Needs some protection. Mech heals to try and keep him up healthy, but it's not going to be good enough. They do lose the Storm Spirit. The turnaround is occurring, and Quick Buff will hunt on to always want to fly. Tiger stays on top of him. Back forward. One route would do it, but they're not going to be able to find it. Always want to fly gets out, but you still lose Iceberg for that. That's the big loss for Na'Vi.
Yeah, and I think potentially maybe could have committed to that fight with the Blade Mail on and just ran into the Leshrac while he was good. And there might have been a different outcome.
Well, the outcome is getting worse for Na'Vi. They lost Chen. They can't
Dire's
quite
middle
find the
tower
Rubik,
is under attack.
but Liquid, they're finally starting to bring the fight to Na'Vi. And I think if these creep waves correctly positioned, they could start to inject more gold in their lineup because this is kind of tower melt mode point for Liquid.
Kind of general. For this the kill on 2. Yeah. 1.
He got a little bit
general.
greedy. Swashbuckle the creeps.
Yeah, general just going for this how to buff up his teammates, add some additional armor against this. Does have already.
Now, it's important that we hold people liable for the things they say,
Radiant's
and I
bottom
believe
tower
Lacoste
is
did
under
say
attack.
if General doesn't get a pipe first, then he doesn't like Na'Vi's odds of winning.
Radiant's
So
bottom
we're going to
tower
keep that in
has
mind.
been denied.
Do you like this more than the pipe, per se?
Yeah, I think that Liquid's lineup is going to actually. I think it's somewhat centered. I mean, of course, there's the Leshrac and there's Pango and everything and Earth Spirit, but I feel like it's fine. I think maybe potentially at some point Chen, if he gets I think he's on to get that pipe. General could also go back for the pipe later on. It's not something you have to rush. It's gonna be BKB on the Storm. There are a lot of heals on the Chen, so rather okay for. Go back for it at a later stage.
Yeah, I think Na'Vi, it looks like Roger. I mean, he's got the Bassi, so likely we're going to see the Vlads next on the Chen. But not really in his 4-4 is... pipe is. completely relevant this game. I need it immediately. And to their credit, they've kind of been playing these fights away from Mike a lot, right? They always try and find wherever Leshrac isn't and then pick off targets before the chaos can set in from a disco pony.
Yes, does have his BKB.
It's kind of got to be go point for Liquid. But where do you go? I guess you want to pick off into Roche at this stage.
Yeah, just pick up into Roche. Their tower taking very quick with Bear with the map.
Alito, no retreato. Always want to fly. Nice stun. Buys enough time. V2 can retreat. Roll Thunder Fruit will connect onto him. The Blade Mail is used defensively. Magnetize out and always want to fly. One root will secure his death, and there it is. Now
You're very much okay with this though. Your Navi big. If you don't lose Roche here, I think. Spectre got away. He's gonna get this bottom lane too.
It's getting close as well, and that's kind of the key part. They didn't use dirt big ultimates, right? Like Roll and Thunder is not the longest cooldown, but it is an exposed weakness. It seems like maybe Na'Vi think that too much because Liquid have gone to the pit, and Na'Vi seem none the wiser.
Yeah, the question is whether they actually want to contest this or not. Iceberg is very close to his BKB. Can't send it out right now, but you know, fighting without this BKB on Storm and without the Radiance Spectre, it feels a little bit silly. You're so close to these massive items that give such a spike. Don't really want to take this engagement. While the Leshrac is going to be very difficult. Some of these other heroes, not really in that exact same boat.
No, and so far, you know, it's a case where Liquid can now find an objective to run at as 5 because that has been their weakness, maybe being a little bit too split on the map.
Yeah, and while you know, like talked about this pipe earlier, I actually think this is quite important for Boxy for the pipe. It's very useful now. Spectre, Radiance, there's a lot of magic damage on the pipe on Boxy is going to. I could have even seen him go.
Jump in on the box, the Blade Mail did go off in time, but the BKB activate, Iceberg doesn't care. Tiger able to move away from General in the meantime, but they're going to pursue one of the Earthquakes, trying to bring him down. Legion is already gone. Root control is good. Hannah got to try and keep V2 up. They need to keep him ruined. If he moves away, it's going to backfire quickly here. Track has arrived. Stun's going to go out. Looks like V2 is going to be brought low and killed off. Rubik and Spectre dead, and Na'Vi need to retreat. And Roger, still in that boost, needs to be careful. Nice counter backline by General. Able to find Tiger. Reinitiates with the stance. Counter points for dragging him into the magic damage is too much. He's brought down. Now they can turn around and finish off Mike, who is all lonesome. As Insania without Roll of Thunder cannot protect him. There's a Remnant in 2, and there is no escape for Mike. This is backfired completely with the Liquid. They'll just run him down. Nice block by Insania. It will allow him to get a little bit of vengeance, maybe. Nope. They get Iceberg. No. He's able to get away. 200 HP. They actually end up punishing him further. I mean, it was a cute play. Boxy now with... It's okay. Sometimes, you know, lag. We'll blame that one on lag. It looked like he kind of just stared at General for a whole second there.
Look at the difference now on this fight. Compared to the first game, he has the sword. Found this dragon. Already quite tanky. Going for this vessel. I expect him to... He could potentially go in for Axe or B after this. He's in a very nice position. I think Navi overall just very comfortable.
Yeah, it's kind of worrisome because, you know, this feels like Liquid when you look at their draft. They're kind of looking for this, I want to say 25, 26 minute timing where you've deleted all the out towers, right? And then it's like you just keep taking Roche and you starve Navi out. But you've got to this point, you've only taken 3 towers and you're losing team fights again and again.
Yeah, and I'm not really sure about this. Like, I don't really like the build on Boxy that much. Potentially just hype this game.
He's going to shove a different lane, build a trap on the upside of the map. And Na'Vi have very mobile heroes. It's very easy for them to punish this kind of split behavior from Team Liquid.
Radiant are scanning.
Yeah, I mean, the Storm Steve in general, he's hard committing armor game. He's gone to the vessel now. He's or just team fight.
I mean, it is the weakness of Mike right now, and they're assuming there isn't going to be a change to that for a long time because, of course, he's going towards that Bloodstone next. Maybe if he locks out and finds the most glorious of tier 3 neutral items for Leshrac, the Craggy Cove. Taunt jumping straight away. Battle away. Boxy's going to take the moment. Tiger trying to move way down to half HP already, but they'll clean him up. Boxy dead. Tiger as well. Boyfriend needs to get the bear away. Needs to do it quick. Buyback comes out from Boxy. We're going to TP that tier 1 tower. But Navi just so quick to retreat. Insanely with the roll. Trying to get on top of him quick enough. He has to take a cheap target, though. He's going to always want to fly. And it looks like Rubik will be an easy duel for them. But for a buyback elite commander, for that to be all you get, you aren't going to be happy.
No, and I feel like Boxy is kind of the weak point lineup right now. I mean, Hero Legion doesn't offer that much, you know. If he had this pipe or support pipe, just something more centered around team fighting, would be so much more. Right now, they're just finding him and start the fight like that. You don't have this prestige. It weakens your lineup.
It's that kind of weird thing where because of his build, it's kind of like he's still being a core, but you've reached a point in the game where actually this is the full back plan Legion, right? Where you have to actually be that support. And now with this BKB next as well, it feels like once again he's still trying to be the core. Speaking of those supports, Tiger is going to be brought down.
I leave you with your precious dirt.
And V-Tune, he's already eyeing up his next time. He's going towards the Skadi after he's completed the Manta, which he's close to having now. Already a bulky boy, level 18 on this Spectre.
I think the issue is the Spectre gets to Manta and the talent with the incredibly difficult.
And it's not like they've got anything coming soon that's going to deal with that issue, shall we say. Like when you think about what Quickfizz built, you know, he's got this bash at Deso. His bear is very much a glass cannon that we're seeing very quickly start to melt at the beginning of these engagements.
Yeah, I think the way to deal with Spectre was to kind of the fact that this is strong early on. I feel like they didn't really take how we expect. And now, you know, deal with the Spectre is at some point get this Legion a lot of damage and, you know, just way too poor.
No. And then your support combo, you know, they've kind of fallen off a lot. So Insane is actually, the reason they haven't got pipe on Legion is because Insane is picking up the slack. And that means your initiation, it's even more on Boxy, right? He has to find the right duel. You haven't got this blinking Pangolier that's able to start the fights for you now.
Yeah, I think the game is gonna be next Roche is.
They're smoked. They're trying to find a pick-off that could lead into a potential Roche. I mean, Spec is alone on the top. This is the way usually you play the Spec drafts. Is Spec goes off, pushes a lane, you rotate as 4, and then she haunts in. As long as it's not seen, this won't be punished. It looks like Liquid, they missed the opportunity. B2 moves away successfully.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant are scanning.
But they will always get the tower. So in the end, it's a net worth gain for Liquid. However, the scan knows that Navi is coming. And they're going to move back onto the high ground in preparation for this. V-Twin is revealing himself the daggers. It's just it's so hard to initiate under the Spectre now.
I've been wanting this.
He reveals himself. He's going to be brought down straight away. They just leave him to die to the Orchid Burn. They find Quick for now. BKB activated will be enough to bring down the lone Druid. He won't use his ultimate, which means he's definitely going to die. Fatal error there by Boxy being the one to actually go and try and capture the outpost.
Boxy, I mean, this game, you know, he's a press the attack. You know, potentially he's a lockdown on some hero, but it's just difficult. And now you can see once again this Chen plus combination. Iceberg still. Rune.
He's gone.
Mighty dead.
It just feels like Liquid are crumbling one by one, getting picked off. You know that someone has to take the outpost, right? You know Roche is coming up. You know it's critical. But out of all the members of the team of Liquid, why is it your Dispel that he's doing?
Visibility.
Yeah, I think Boxy's just having sort of off game. It got off to a decent start, you know. quite okay in this top lane. It's just didn't really manage to transit.
Feels like what you call point limbo, right? Where you have this great start of game, and we already mentioned Legion is this hero. You can either be big scary carry Legion, or you are relegated to support. And it almost feels like he's still grasping at that kind of I am scary, no one will touch me role, when that hasn't been the case for like at least 5 minutes.
And there it is. That's the Trekkie code.
They done it. This is the comeback item. This is clearly why Leshrac keeps winning everywhere right now.
However,
Wait, he didn't take it?
Taking it.
So you want less armor against this minus armor void spirit. He's braver than I would ever be.
To be fair, he's putting a lot of damage. He does have the armor talent. He's gonna be quite tanky with the bloodstone.
And I believe we checked the last time we saw this track, the armor versus split earth radius was more or less kind of split in terms of competitive games. So it's more like kind of an adjustable. This feels like an armor game. Insania able to move away due to the press the attack. Iceberg chasing in. Lift's going to be there to drop the Pangolier. They're keeping Boxy away from the fight and just control with the vortex ensures Pangolier cannot use his ultimate yet. Now he's going to get out. Has to instantly cancel Swashbuckle away. John's going to come out too late though. Legion's going to be brought down. The Horn is too strong. Mike's BKB is running out. And Na'Vi get out just in time. It will cost them 2. As General had to buy back. Rubik will do the same. They now outnumber the forces of Liquid, and they know that Boxy's not able to get back into this, as his buyback is still on cooldown. Now they just duke out the bear. This Roche is so important for both teams. But it looks like Na'Vi, they're a little bit reluctant to go back into the pit with this many members of Liquid still alive.
Iceberg now with the damage victory. Find another arcane rune. Very good shape.
What's the Ice Frog for his rune blessings? It's not a DD outside of a pit, but I feel like this one's a bigger deal than the DDs that we usually see decide Roaches. Because even with Liquid now all being up, yeah, there is a potential weakness still. Boxy is still a minute out from having buybacks. If you get jumped too quickly, you can be overwhelmed. Na'Vi finally going to the pit though. Just waiting for your opponents to all be up. Oh, rolling. In drop by the Remnant. Star's going to come out. Tiger. Shot. We'll jump in. Pistol straight there. Jaws well full on the shoot. Iceberg. Had to go one keep him alive. He's brought down. Mike chases forward with the BKB. Always want to fly. Spider legs get him across, but the fear comes in and overwhelms him as he has a heart attack and dies. Dead for 75 seconds. They're still hunting for the Chen, who does finally have boots, but against the Leshrac, you are nowhere near fast enough. He's also going to fall in Liquid. They finally get a blessing in disguise. As after that fight, they're the ones in the pit. They're the ones getting their hands on an Aegis and cheese.
Yeah, finally this dagger for Box paying off. It looked like a terrible fight there. Tiger just rolls and he immediately dies. He rolls into the Remnant, but Viper runs in with the bear, finds the abyss. He gets the stun off, and then there's the duel.
Dire's middle tower is under
we
attack.
see the kind of back and forth
Radiant's
weakness
bottom tower
of these drafts
is under attack.
as this game has been going on, because Na'Vi still have this issue where when BKBs are up on
Dire's middle
Liquid,
tower
well,
has
what do you do?
fallen.
Right, because
Dire's
there's no
middle
denying a lot of that
tower is under
damage
attack.
is indeed magical. Even with this
Dire's
build by General, it's still
structures are fortified.
majority magical damage coming out from Na'Vi.
I mean, he has to kind of survive some of these. You know, if he gets to go in with his BKB, of course. But I think Navi, the way they have create confusion and then Storm can.
Kind of the same for both teams in terms of what they're looking for to open up the fight, right? Like, you're looking for Spectre Haunt to cause chaos, and then on Liquid side, they just want Mike in deep instantly, along with the Earth Spirit, to cause chaos. Because then everything feels reactionary for the other team.
Yeah, I mean, initiation.
And you mentioned that Shiva's to Iceberg. I don't know if I'd say a Lincoln's is maybe better in this game, because a lot of the things that can pop Lincolns are big initiation tools, right? You've got the Abyssal, you've got the Duel as well.
I think it's the fact that the item is so... It gives you a lot more damage. It, of course, Lincoln's low against this bear. Koifa is queuing up the guard. The armor and the kind of the minus attack speed coupled with the armor from the Chen, it's going to
That's true. I guess it also synergizes with the like anti-heal regen that they got going on, right? They got Scardy, they've also got the Spirit Vessel. Like everything in this says this lone Druid bear cannot sustain at all, nor can his master.
Preferred seeing a hype this game. Maybe over the Glimmer Cape, I'm not sure. Hype in combination. I think the hype would help them quite a bit.
I see where you come from, right? Because usually you go Glimmer of Hype when you're talking about this kind of focused attack damage that comes out from the lineup, but Liquid have an Earth Spirit and a Leshrac. Their magical damage is very much kind of scattered across the area.
Now Navi, they kind of have to wait a little bit here. Very close to this upgrade. They are gonna siege here. Okay, no glyph for Navi, so buildings are gonna fall very, very quickly.
No, on level 25 to try, but doesn't damage Abyssal. Raw, try and scare him away. Stun comes down to the bear. Now they're trying to silence that off, bring it down. Mikke trying to cover it, but he's losing his own health pool too quick, so he has to back away. Luckily, he has that haste rune, so they can't punish him. But the bear being dead and now on cooldown for 120 seconds, Liquid might get overly defensive.
A tithe to the impurity.
Yeah, the Navi kind of identified the fact that they can kill this bear. Deals a lot of damage. Build also with quiver, but focus this bear. It's not that hard for them to.
For the coin of the realm.
This is kind of the thing, you know, this hero will catch people out in their pub games a lot because everyone's like, oh, I want to kill heroes, they give gold, and now killing heroes, Lone Druid's gone. And they go back to the other fight with the Horn. BKB is forced out of Mikke. He needs to get out, and he needs to get out quick. Aether Remnant's going to cut off his escape. Nope, just about gets by it. So it looks like it's only going to be quick for Dying, but when you've got the Aegis to lose the hero like that, yes, it costs them Horn, but it sets back your aggression. And if you look at all the creep waves, they're all pressuring towards Liquid's side of the map.
Yeah, and Kuiper also just gonna have one. Starting to feel a bit more uncomfortable.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
In a position where he's gonna continue. Whereas the Lone Druid eventually going to fall off.
Yeah, also buyback value in this game, right? When you get to these late game scenarios, you're looking for any advantage you can get. And buyback is huge in this game. You mentioned previous series, previous game, Rob, we have like the Chen who can bring one in. Well, guess what? Spec, if he's still got Horn, doesn't even need that element. So his buyback is valuable, whereas Quakefus, if he's got bare cooldown, his buyback is worth nothing.
If you look at it though,
Over here.
right up there on top. Next to Spectre, he's got the Bloodstone. It
arguably doesn't have like the biggest value in terms of you haven't got like a range carry, a real range carry you have to deal with. But I guess it's the regen capacity as well, right? Sands just amping that up further to heal them. And it looks like Iceberg did also switch up his build. He is going for that Linker's Vent. It just feels like kind of the game-winning item for a Storm in this game. In which the Storm is hanging around. They've got Horn in 35. Like, this could backfire if he gets too cocky.
Kuiper though, he finds this with quite a bit tanky.
I mean, like, it's 400 lost, right? So if he's missing any mana at all, he would not be able to cast his ultimate.
Carry a couple mangoes, get a null tally.
It's like, but I want this Hyperstone.
Ah, and okay, and so actually you can see general actually.
Yeah, General is kind of... It's almost like you look at the way that he's building, and this is kind of the beauty of Void Spirit 3, is you just become this cookie cutter to like fill the needs of your team. And he's doing a damn good job at that so far.
Yeah, sitting at...
We're 1 minute and a half. This is why we're kind of seeing both teams linger around the dire jungles. Like any pick off at this point could just set you up for easy access to the pit and keep your opponents away. Mikke desperately wants this level 25. He is getting close. At that point, machine gun buildings down and anything standing near you with the Diabolic Edict. Speaking of which, he's going to move in now, forcing out the glyph. Yules onto the Storm Spirit. Force out the BKB as well. Trying to move away. Mikke has been slowed up. The bear is the target now. All being brought down. Looks like press the attack to try and get it away. They couldn't finish it off. Quakefor keeps the bear alive. That's going to be important.
Give the They give the Witless Echo to sitting at 4,200. And once we finish, she was going to be very few things other than an entire Navi lineup that.
But it's similar for Vitun. He's the one holding the Havoc Hammer. He's almost got 4k HP on this Spectre. So in terms of like how you bring down these targets, it's equally risky to try and burst with these two. Moving in, full line in, deep horn as well. They catch them in the trap and they bring them down. Like, get rid of the quick for Lone Druid and they force the buyback out of Spirit. Now chase on the Foxy, doesn't even get to Jewel. He's dead. Insignia's down as well. Mike can finally be turned around on. Gets bashed up. The BKB will not protect him at all, as they'll just run him through and end the Disco Pony's existence.
Yeah, and except for an entire Navi lineup, there are very few things that can actually bring down Mike, but they're what an entire Navi lineup can do.
I mean, it's this vision as well. Like, just well played by Navi getting these wards down, catching them in that choke point like that. So easy to punish it. It's kind of interesting the way that Navi have been back and forth utilizing these horns. It hasn't been, oh yeah, we'll just find like the big stacked up team fight. It's also been a case that you will just force an easy pick off from some like quick for. Only this time, it's not only quick for you find the whole kit alongside him.
Yeah, I think Navi actually, they caught them off guard there. I think Liquid were not really expecting Navi to go for... From BKB was on cooldown. They still just commit to the fight.
And now that long ball line.
Tiger here.
Well, Liquid didn't seem to know about the ward beforehand. They'll realize there's wards in the area this time, though, after Tiger almost dies for it.
And had they known that there was no buyback on Leshak, I think they would win there. Little did they know.
That's the big scary difference here as well. Like, you actually think about the way Liquid goes about their games. They probably would have tried to force tier 4s. So, Navi maybe falling for the old Liquid trap of playing a little bit too safe here.
Yeah, definitely. But, you know, they can sense the victory. They feel like they don't need to do now at 5. He's got the link against Spectre with... The upcoming fights are going to be so difficult. Now you can just get on top of this lone. Pretty much any target.
You say that, Pycat. Roche is up. Horn is down for 15 seconds still. If Liquid are very fast about this, they might get a new breath of life. The problem is they're not quick enough. This could backfire quickly. But they know this is their only option at this stage. They're falling too far behind. They'll move out. Horn's going to come in. Straight away on top of boys. They're trying to burst through quick enough. They can try and protect him. They get him out of the pit. Nice save by Tiger. But that means he's next to the other members. Silence will protect him though. Tiger doing all the work he can, but they've already lost the Pangolier. At least they keep quick for a life to go back into the pit. It's all low. Who's going to get it? It gets picked up by BK. Now trying to burst through them quickly. We've got a fight. Trying to just juke away from this fight quickly. Able to get out. Had to go to keep it healthy. And now instead, Liquid members fall low quick. Burst through. They bring them all down. Mike has lost the Aegis and with his team. As they're all dead, surrounded on all sides. Foxy's buyback will do nothing to save the life of Lecrack as Navi once again outplay Liquid.
Just look at the amount of damage that Spectre is dealing fight. It's just... It's way too much. 10,000 damage. Spectre... Just... You can't get through this point. You don't have enough...
bottom tower is under attack.
Single target focused damage. There's Persian talent now 7% on top of the blade mail. He's got the take with 4,000 HP, top of 10 heals. It's just, you can't bring down the Spectre anymore.
Oh, this is, you know, at this point, unless Foxy has found some weird half range ability that allows him to duel and drag back a fountain, this looks over. He runs in and he knows it's the case. He gives away his life. That's his die back. And in the end, while Liquid, they didn't look too bad starting off this series. Navi, it looks like after they got warmed up, they come out ahead. Alien will not be able to stop them hitting this throne. 20 seconds to go until Lone Druid is up. They could just finish by hitting the building. Oh! Icebox said no, message must be sent. You will die, Icebox. Stadium. And now they'll turn around. GG. 2-1, the storyline in the end. Navi, they get revenge after ESL. Take Liquid down.